If you're thinking about teaching English abroad, I'm sure that you've heard a lot of stories about how amazing it is. The country, the people, the job, the foods. But let's be real, it is not all sunshine and rainbows. In today's video, I'm going to share some of the myths about teaching English abroad and the breakdown of some of the realistic expectations that you need to have if you want to succeed and avoid disappointment. Hi everyone, my name is Leah. Welcome to my channel. If you're interested in what life looks like living and working abroad, this channel is for you. I've been teaching English abroad for almost 9 years to students as young as 3 all the way up to 18 years old. I have learned that all the research that you compile does not prepare you for the actual experience of teaching abroad. Here's what I have to share about some of the myths that you may be buying into as well. One of the biggest myths, teaching English abroad is super easy. You just chat with your students all day and you have fun. While it may seem like that from the outside, that is really far from the truth. Teaching English requires a lot of prep work, lesson planning, grading, and dealing with unexpected challenges in the classroom. No matter how fluent you are in English, you still have to teach grammar, you have to teach pronunciation and structure, which can sometimes be difficult. If you are considering teaching in Southeast Asia, your first hurdle is actually going to be the parents. They have influences over the schools and the administration, and it's important to make a really good impression. You'll need to plan engaging lessons, keep up with your students' progress, and you need to be able to handle a variety of teaching tools and resources, and sometimes even behavior challenges. It is not as simple as speaking English. It is teaching a language, and that takes effort. You do not, I repeat, you do not make tons of money teaching English abroad. Your salary is comparatively low, though if you live in a country that has low cost of living, your dollar will go further. Some countries like South Korea or the UAE offer great perks like free housing and airfare, but with other countries, even though the cost of living isn't as high as the US, things like rent, utilities, living expenses, and transportations can vary widely, and you may not be able to save once those are factored in. Do your research on the cost of living in the specific country that you're going to be moving to. Expect to live modestly and plan your budget carefully. Here's a fun one. The idea that students will treat you like a celebrity, showering you with gifts and adoration. Well, it is true in my experience that there is a reverence and a respect for teachers, especially in Southeast Asia, but that's not always smooth sailing. You may face cultural barriers, language misunderstandings, or classroom management challenges that can make things difficult. And just because you're teaching English doesn't mean that all of your students like English. You will have to learn how to connect with those students that are enthusiastic and not so enthusiastic. Not every day will be filled with admiration. You will have to learn to earn the respect of your students, and that takes time and effort. Many people think that because they're living in a country where English isn't the main language, that they automatically have to become fluent. But the language acquisition takes time and effort, and it's not a magic trick. Just because you're surrounded by the language doesn't mean that it's going to happen overnight. Unless you are actively working on your language skills, you'll probably pick up basic phrases and vocabulary, but fluency takes months, sometimes even years. Be patient with yourself, take classes, or use language apps if you want to get better at speaking the local language. While teaching abroad is often associated with young travelers and backpackers, the truth is there's no age limit. People from all ages, from fresh grads to retirees, are teaching English all around the world. I started my journey teaching English at 43 years old. It is more important about your passion for teaching and your willingness to adapt to new environments than your age. Teaching abroad can be for anyone who's open-minded and wants a new experience or a new culture. I am gonna say this depends on what country you're in and your working hours. My full-time schedule in Vietnam was 3.5 hours a day, and I actually took a whole ass trip to Malaysia with a 24-hour turnaround because it was the closest country to get Krispy Kreme donuts. True story. While you'll probably have some weekends off, teaching takes a lot of time and mental energy. Weekends are often spent lesson planning or recovering from a hectic week. Plus, traveling during peak season can be really expensive. While it's true that you'll have some time off, traveling on weekends may or may not always be practical or affordable. There are many opportunities to meet new people abroad, but it's not always easy to make the deep connections right away. It may take time to make meaningful connections, but putting yourself out there and learning about the culture will help you feel more at home. Don't expect instant friendships, but also give it some time and effort. Oh Lord, let's talk about culture shock, because it is a real thing and something that you're likely to face even if you've traveled before. Adapting to a new country, different customs, and a new way of life can be overwhelming, and it sucks. It is the most common reason that I see people that I've worked with in their contracts early or do a midnight run. Get involved in local activities and ask for help when you need it. One of the biggest myths that you're going to be teaching in some idyllic beachside paradise with a life full of adventure and relaxation. The reality is many schools are in urban areas and the teaching environment can be more stressful than what you can imagine. Yes, you can have an amazing time abroad, but don't expect every minute to feel like a vacation. Some places may not have the beach right outside your door. I am saving number 10 for your input. Tell me what other things that you think that you may experience that I didn't add to this list.